शाराद्रिसङ्काशगौरं कबीरं मनोभूतकोटि प्रभाश्रीशरीरं स्फुरन्मौलिकल्लोलिनी चारुगङ्गा लसत्फालबालेन्दुकण्ठे भुजङ्गा.
A warm welcome to all the devotees on Raksha Sutra English. We are going to narrate wonderful holy stories to all the devotees from the book Miracles of Love by Ramdas ji, an exclusive devotee of Maharaj ji. Please listen carefully, all the devotees. During the English occupation, an Englishman had reserved a first-class compartment on the train, and when he went to his compartment, he found Maharaj ji there. He went to the conductor and said that there was a very disreputable-looking man in his compartment, and would they please remove him. The conductor came and looked and said, "I am sorry, that's a saint, and I can't remove him." So the Englishman, now even more upset, sent for the chief conductor. When the chief conductor came, he said the same thing. So at the next major station, the Englishman decided to remove the man himself, but the minute he went into the compartment, he forgot his anger and mission and sat quietly and peacefully for the rest of the trip. Finally, Maharaj ji said, "This is my village," and the train was stopped, and he and his party go off. I think it was he who made me go with him. I used to go with him, but I never wanted to go. The Maas, as they were called, were women whose greatest pleasure was in taking care of Maharaj ji. Once a doctor had said Maharaj ji should take certain pills at 10 a.m. On this particular morning, the Maas brought the medicine 10 minutes late. Maharaj ji said fiercely, "If you people don't take better care of me, I will turn your minds against me," which was the worst threat he could make. I was the station master at Mount Abu, and Maharaj ji had promised to come there sometime. When I was off duty, it was my policy never go into the station. But this one day, I had been in a long conversation with a friend, and as I left, I wanted somehow to break my policy by cutting through the station in order to save time getting home. Just as I got into the station and was rushing through, the Bombay mail arrived, and there was Maharaj ji tapping at the window. A number of us Westerners were meditating together at a Buddhist ashram in Bodh Gaya. After a time, some of us were ready to take a break and go on to Delhi, several hundred miles away, to celebrate Shiva's birthday. One of the women in the group, who had come to India overland by charter bus, reported that the bus driver wanted to hang out with us too. So 34 of us left Bodh Gaya and met the bus in Benares and started to drive to Delhi. One of the men in the group, Danny, had left the courses briefly in the middle to visit Allahabad in order to experience a Kumbh Mela. He had returned deeply impressed and bringing us each small medallions depicting the monkey Hanuman, which he had purchased on the Mela grounds. When it turned out that the bus route went right by Allahabad, Danny pressed us to visit the Mela grounds. I protested that the Mela was now over and it would just be an empty piece of river bank. But he pointed out that it was one of the most sacred spots in India. Some of us were tired, for it was only our first day out in the world after such sustained meditation practice, and all we really wanted was to get to the Dharamsala, where we planned to stay overnight. The thought of even driving the few miles out of our way to get to the river was not appealing, and yet it was a very holy place. I weighed the merits of the alternatives and finally agreed that we should go to the river from a brief stop to watch the sunset. As we approached and drove down into the Mela grounds, which were now quite deserted, the driver asked where he should park. Danny pointed to a place that he said was near a Hanuman temple and also was the spot where he had purchased the small medallions. As the bus was pulling up to that spot, someone yelled, "There's Maharajji." Sure enough, walking right by the bus with Dada, there he was. We all scrambled off the bus and rushed to his feet. I was having an hysterical, crying, laughing fit. I remember kissing his feet in bliss, and at the same moment my mind being aware that the spot of sand on which he was standing smelled strongly of urine. Dada later told us that as the bus came into view, Maharajji had said, "Well, they have come." Maharajji instructed us to follow them, and the bus followed the bicycle rickshaw to Dada's house on the suburban street of this great university city. Within minutes, we were given food and arrangements were made for us to lodge at a nearby estate with another devotee. I was told that since morning the servants had been preparing food under Maharajji's order in anticipation of our coming. But if that were so, which of us thought he was making a decision in the bus about whether to visit the Mela grounds? Apparently, all was not as I thought it was. Ramdas. Only Maharajji knew why he remembered whom he did when he did. Apparently, however, it was not all in his hands, for many devotees found that by thinking about him, they drew his attention or even his physical presence. Said one Ma, if the devotion is strong enough, the Guru is drawn by the devotee. Key to the Mind section is long, so further stories will be narrated to all devotees in next episode. To listen the wonderful holy stories of Maharajji, please like, share, subscribe the channel, and don't forget to ring the bell icon. Write in the comment box, Jai Neem Karoli Babaji Maharaj.